Hi, I'm MJ Hickox here at Leopold's, where we pair our bottles with books. So before you roll that grill back into your garage, we'd like to feature a Malbec from Argentina. Argentina is known for beautifully prepared meats, and their flagship red, Malbec, is a gorgeous complement. Malbec offers notes of very dark, plummy fruits, but it's also oaked, so you get some smoke and some earth notes that complement meats, but any bold flavored dish that has earthy elements quite well. This is a particularly special bottle because it's from the winery of Susana Balbo. She was Argentina's first female enologist in terms of getting her degree. So that's very exciting. And it's just a simply delicious wine. James Suckling gave this 93 points. It's complex, it's beautiful, and it's really ready for those last grilling moments of the season. We think you're going to love it. Cheers.
Hello, and thank you for joining us at Cooking with the Cap Times. This month we have Chef Brandon Bay of Primal Q in Sun Prairie here to make some delicious food for us. Before we get started, we do want to thank our sponsors of this event. So our official kitchen sponsor is Kesnick's. That's where we are tonight and where we've been every time since we started. It is our last night here, so we're going to appreciate it as much as we could. Thank you for sponsoring us, Kesnick's, for always hosting us in this beautiful space. Kesnick's is open to the public, so you can come in and shop for all of your kitchen space needs. They have everything here. It's huge. Also, thank you to Leopold's Books Bar Cafe, our wine pairing sponsor. If you're watching, you just saw a short video from MJ showing the wine that she picked out to pair with tonight's dish. They pick out a perfect wine every month, and you can stop by there to get some wine, to get books, to get coffee, espresso, cocktails, everything else you could need. And then our official video partner is Hinckley Productions. They're making this possible right now. We do have a small in-person audience right now of Cap Times members who have joined us here tonight. If you would like to be one of those people, get to taste the delicious dish at the end of the night, have some wine, you can do that by becoming a Cap Times member at membership.captimes.com. Give any amount to support our newsroom, and along with supporting the work we do in our community, you also get the chances to come to events like this. So you should join us next time. You can ask your questions in the chat. We'll get those answered by the chef. Also, the person with the best question at the end of the night will be picked to win a bottle of that Malbec that you just heard about. So put those questions in for your chance to win. I think that's everything, so I will pass it over to Lindsay Christians.
Thank you! Thank you, everybody, for watching, for all this time that you've all been watching. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. And thank you, Brandon. I'm so excited that you're here.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Awesome, thanks. I'm not at work.
You're not at work. I mean, you're at work a little bit. But let's just really quick, tell us a little bit about Primal Q and how it came to be and why.
So I was an instructor at Madison College, and Andrew, my business partner, was actually one of my students.
That's amazing.
And in my menu planning class, he actually created the concept as a food truck. He was there on a GI Bill, did a wonderful job. I've been smoking meat since I was 7 years old, and I've always wanted to do barbecue, but just being in the Midwest, I knew that it was going to be hard because, one, up here, people don't go out and have barbecue 2-3 times a week, which is normal down south. So I was a little nervous with that. We just got a big bond with that, and then he actually took his GI Bill and went into the small business development, did the business plan for everything, and then we actually ended up working together in a kitchen a couple years later. I had left the college and he had come to work in a kitchen, and we had a really bad shift. And I looked at him, I said, "You know your business plan?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "I'm in." And he's like, "What?" I go, "I know where we can order a smoker. We can have it in 4 months. We can just start doing catering, and we'll start there, and let's see just what happens." Ordered our first smoker. We had it within 45 days. We had it custom made down in Kentucky for us. Went down, picked it up. 2 weeks after we got it, we had our first wedding for 140. That was 5 years ago, and we've never looked back. Even during pandemic, we were asked to do things we weren't going to because we didn't have a restaurant. We had a very small lease, the kitchen that we were using, and 75% of my friends either own or in the restaurant industry, and they had mortgages and things, and I didn't want to get involved with that. And we had money in the bank, and we both had full-time jobs, but the customers reached out to us and said, hey, we want your food. So we did a drive-through pop-up at Angel Park Speedway. I thought we'd get about 50 meals. We had 196 dinners the first one, so we did 6 more because I'd be an idiot not to. And then we're ahead of schedule. We were looking at 5 or 6 years for a brick and mortar, but the one that we've got, we were looking at for like 2 years because our catering goes from June to November, and then after November we don't see much. We wanted to do something that kept us going. Well, the hockey arena that we're in, hockey starts on December 1st and goes till March, so it works great with our model.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at now, and the challenge that we had was if you don't have kids that play hockey, you don't live on the east side of Sun Prairie, people didn't even know where the arena was, and we joined this little group and on Facebook, and we've gotten people coming from Rockford and Milwaukee and north of Portage, and so we've got the people are starting to come, and then we got hockey starting here in a little bit, so it's been great.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
One of the things that I thought was really interesting in an earlier story about your business was when you first started, you were doing pork. You were like doing mostly pork and a little bit of brisket, and then you realized that the demand for brisket was so much higher. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The first event.
Yeah.
We did 250 pounds of pork, and we did 3 briskets, and we sold out of the 3 briskets in 20 minutes, and I donated half the pork.
Oh my goodness.
So we shifted gears. I grew up 3 hours south of here, which is pork capital, and so I thought it was still a pork region, and no, I was actually proven different. So people wanted brisket. Our last real brisket pop-up that we did at St. Vinny's was a year before we opened, and I had 20 briskets. We had a line an hour and a half before we started.
Wow.
Or we started at 1 o'clock. We never started early, even if we were set up and we were ready to go. We still started at 1 o'clock to give every opportunity there. But we had a line for an hour and a half, and we sold out in less than 2 hours.
Wow.
And that's when we looked at each other and said, it's time. We need to start looking at some stuff.
Yeah.
So, brisket has been a number one. We just started doing beef ribs on Thursday nights.
Cool. Okay.
And so that's a big one. I just did 18 racks for tomorrow night, so we've got quite a few for tomorrow night. Tonight I'm showing you tri-tip. We only do brisket on Fridays and Saturdays. We still wanted to make it a commodity. Also, my partner, Andrew's from California, so he's from the San Diego area. He wanted to bring a little bit of California to the Midwest. And tri-tip has kind of come and gone and come and gone and come and gone. And I said, well, you know what? I have no problem with educating some people. And the other nice thing is brisket takes 12 to 18 hours. That takes 2 hours. I get to sleep.
That's a bonus. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
You mentioned that you had your smoker custom made.
Yes.
Why? How?
So we have 4 of them.
Okay.
So each one, depending on what you're doing, size-wise, if you're doing a double shelf interior, if you want a rib rack, if you want a barrel, if you want a box, there's just so many different things that you can have added to them. So our first one is basically just a barrel smoker. It has a rib box at one end and a grill at the other end. The grill is basically turned into a storage bin now, so the next design will be different. But that's become our hog roaster. We can do a hog anywhere from 65 to 200 pounds in that, and we have one on Saturday. We've had one about every weekend since June. And so we love doing those. The next one that we did, we got hired to do a party of 1,200 people, and the little one wasn't going to do it, so then we bought a cabinet smoker.
Oh, okay.
And the cabinet smoker actually will fit about 98 pork butts.
Wow.
And the other thing is they're all live fire, so none of them is gas assist. We actually are maintaining them with oak, so we are feeding the fire every 20 or 30 minutes, so we are not like pressing a button, walking away, and if we don't come back, the gas takes over. If we walk away and we don't come back, we lose our product or we're in danger zone. So we have to manage them throughout that entire time. That's actually what makes us different than everyone else. It's nothing against anybody, it's just the way that we do it. It's the way I've always done it. My dad's rules were wood only. Don't ever do gas. Don't ever do charcoal. So I don't even grill with charcoal.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The other one is write everything down, because you're going to have that moment that you did it perfect and you got to remember 9 years ago what you did. And the other one is you're never right. If you're going to do barbecue, understand that you're never right, because there's going to be a guy to the left of you, a guy to the right of you telling you you're doing it wrong.
Oh my gosh. I find it so interesting that the things that kind of matter the least, like whether you put mustard on a certain kind of sausage or not, right? Or ketchup. Like these are the things that people will argue the most like passionately about. Like you cannot put, and I'm like, it's your food. You can kind of do whatever you want. Like it doesn't matter. But it's a statement of some kind, right? So the style of barbecue that you're going to be doing for us tonight, this tri-tip, would you call this a California style? Is this a West Coast?
So it's kind of a combination.
Sure. Because
they do a Santa Maria grill. I mean, that's the original style of it, Santa Maria. If you're not aware of what a Santa Maria grill, it's the stone square that's usually done in brick or stone, and it's the one that they've got the crank. It's the cowboy style where you can crank it down in the coals and bring it up. What they'll do with it out there is they leave a little bit more of the fat cap on. We actually try to trim it down all the way. They'll leave a little bit more fat cap on, and they'll get it into the coals. They'll char it really nice, and then they'll bring it, or they'll offset it, and let it sit for about 20 or 30 minutes, just sitting there and loosening up some of the muscle, because it is a straight muscle. It's pretty lean. If you don't know what tri-tip is, it's 3 points. It's 2 muscles coming together, so it's a very, very strong muscle. But there's not a whole lot of marbling on the interior of it, so it's more of a quick, fast, let it sit type thing. Char it, get it off. We smoke it for 2 hours, get it to about 125, pull it, and then we'll chill it. And then we slice it really thin, and then when you come in and order it, we do it on the flat top to give the caramelization, so when you get it, it's actually got that caramelization flavor to it and everything, but it still has our seasoning, the smoke on it. I tell people it's kind of like a tenderloin meets a sirloin. It has the full flavor of a tenderloin, but it chews more of a sirloin. But we try to get it thin enough that it actually will fall apart in your mouth.
Nice.
We win sometimes, we lose sometimes.
What part of the cow is it on?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I've been up since 4:30 this morning. It's by the sirloin.
It's by the sirloin.
Yes,
okay.
It's by the sirloin.
So how do you want to get started? What comes first?
So I'm going to do the chimichurri sauce first, because
All right.
that needs to sit for about 15-20 minutes. So
Okay.
pretty basic sauce. How many people here have made chimichurri before? No? Okay. Good marinade. It's excellent with meat. You can use it with chicken if you'd like to. Originality's Argentina started it. It's just a bunch of fresh herbs, and I always laugh because it's also something you can look in your fridge and go, hey, I have this, and you can throw it in if you like that flavor profile and if it goes with what you're doing. Mine's pretty big. Everybody here likes cilantro? Anybody have an issue? Okay, good. Sweet. I love you. So first, it's just a cup of parsley chopped. I wasn't going to chop stuff for you. I think you've watched enough people chop things in life. So it's 2 to 1, basically, for the parsley and the cilantro. I personally like to do this before I add everything else. That way it gets a nice mix. You want a bite?
I mean,
it's
good.
fresh.
I know. I believe. Ooh, it smells amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Quick question.
Yes.
So I am the advocate for the lazy chef. Could you do that in a food processor and go?
Yes, you can. You can put this in a food processor. You can put it in a blender. You can do whatever you want to.
I love that.
Just understand that you're not going to have the same end result.
Yes, sure.
One of the things, as I said, I taught at the Madison College. One thing I always told people is, a recipe is, imagine you're at O'Hare and you're flying to LA. So your recipe is, here's your ingredients, here's your end result. I'm going to show you this flight, which is a direct flight. You're going to probably look at it and go, hey, I can do this, and you're going to take a layover here and you're going to do something else. As long as you start with this and you end with this, you're good.
Yeah.
However you get there, things change.
I will say the food processor will bruise the herbs a little bit when I do it that way. You can tell from the way that this is cut that this is really, it's clean. Like the knife was sharp. You know what I mean? So I think you can kind of tell that you chopped it with a knife visibly.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
So a cup of really good extra virgin olive oil. I like using a robust, give a little bit more flavor with the steak. So a little bit of red wine vinegar, just a dash. Then I've got a bunch of goodies. So the recipe that you have online or whatever does not have the red peppers in it. I do it for color more than anything else, but it also adds a little bit of sweetness with the steak.
That's maybe like one roasted red pepper, like from a jar that you've chopped up.
Yeah, actually, this is something that's actually been in oil.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I do that is because now I don't have to sit here and wait for that oil to penetrate into the pepper itself.
Sure.
Because it still's got that nice body to it, but that way the flavors actually will melt to them a little bit faster because they've already been marinating in oil. A little bit of garlic. I think I put too much in here. So. A little bit of dried oregano. You can use fresh. If you use fresh, double the recipe because your dried is obviously concentrated.
Double the amount of oregano in the recipe, yeah.
Yep. A little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt. And then the creme de la creme is, I like the red pepper flakes.
Nice.
Apologize in advance if you're really sensitive. And then a little squeeze of lemon juice.
I've been making variations on green sauces for 3-4 weeks because we kept getting herbs in the CSA.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I guess this week is basil and parsley, and then next week is cilantro dill, and then because I just green sauce all day. And it works. It's good on everything.
I'm a hand guy, so a lot of what I do mixing is with my hands, hence the gloves.
If you use just your hand, you can find out all the little cuts you might have.
Yes.
It's like, oh.
I worked at Pedro's for 11 years, slicing limes, yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So that is it. Pretty basic. And you can change this up. You can add different things. You can add different peppers. You can add different greens. You can go a little bit stronger on the oregano, depending on what you're doing. So
beautiful.
Pretty basic. A little bit of rosemary. You can do almost any herbs that you want to. So if you got a herb garden, as she said, you're trying to figure out what to do with it.
Yes.
This is a great one. So, and you can do this, make it. We have froze this, and it actually comes back really well.
Oh wow! Okay.
We've done it, and I've done it at home in ice cube trays, and you can actually pull it out if you need it. You can't do it for too long, though. You can't put it in your freezer and think, "Oh, I can pull it out in 6 months." No, you can do it for I would say about a month and a half. Then you'll start seeing some stuff kind of get a little funky with color and things like that.
It's brown.
Yeah. So that is it. That will sit for about 20 or 30 minutes. Now the fun one.
Sometimes with like a pesto or something similar to that, I will put like a layer of oil over the top when I put it in Tupperware, and it helps keep it green.
Yes. Yep. Seal it right up, and you just stir it right in.
Nice little thing.
Next.
And next,
Now the fun one.
Tri-tip.
Tri-tip. Has anybody ever played with one of these?
I don't think so. I feel like I wanted to do tri-tip a little while ago, and I had trouble finding this cut. Is it called anything else?
It's hard to find.
I feel validated.
So your meat markets will probably have it. We shop. Here we go, Madison. I buy from Gordon Food Service.
Nice, okay.
One, I used to work for them, so I know their operations. I know where they get their food from. I know how all their logistics work and everything. Plus the volume that we do. I would love to work with a local farmer here, but I can't walk up to a rancher here and say, I need 40 briskets a month.
No.
Or 40 briskets a week. They'll look at me like I'm crazy, and we're not a head and tail concept. So we do get ours through Gordon Food Service. One is because of consistency and size, others price, obviously. I know that Costco will have these every once in a while.
Oh, that's cool.
I know that you can call Conscious Carnivore and you can ask them, the meat people as well.
Yeah.
So definitely, all you gotta do is reach out to them and ask, hey, can you get this? If you're not in dire need of it immediately, 9 out of 10 times, any of those guys will be more than happy to get what you're looking for. So I do suggest, if they can get it, to pay extra to have them trim it.
Oh.
Because I'm gonna show you how to trim it. And it's fun, but nobody at the other end of this is from a restaurant is going to yell at me because I'm going to do a restaurant style trim where I'm not worried about the little bit of money that I'm going to lose in meat.
Yeah. That's valid.
So what's nice, how many people here have grills at home?
Yes.
Yeah, I had to ask. If you do this at home, do not get rid of the fat. You can render this just like you can render meat off of brisket or anything else, and you actually get a lot of rendering off of these, and it's delicious. It's tallow gold. So as you can see, there's 3 tips. You got one side, obviously there's not a whole lot of fat, and then you've got this really hard piece going down this side. You've got what do you want to call it? A seam of fat here that actually does run to about there on the interior, so you're not going to be able to get rid of all of it. The back, all of this can come off though. All of this can come off.
When you say rendering it, you said tallow gold. Tallow
Yep.
can be used for so many different things. Candles, right? Like all kinds of stuff. What do you like to use tallow for if you're cooking it at home?
Goes right back on this.
All right, okay.
Actually, we use our tallow in multiple ways. At the restaurant, we will actually reintroduce the tallow to our briskets before we wrap them.
Nice, okay.
Also, if we see that, again, we're in the Midwest, we don't go through our product nearly as fast as down south. I wish I could say we do. But if I see that we're having issues with our lean on our briskets, we'll actually do a tallow brush on them to reintroduce some moisture to them as we serve them, which is something that people do all over the country. So, but again, we don't go through the volume like anyone else does, so we will have some dry out every once in a while. But we try our hardest to try to keep it as moist as possible, and that's where this stuff comes in.
Nice, okay.
So, yeah. So, the cool thing here, you can do this one of 2 ways. I'll show you one. So obviously on the back side, you got some silver skin. You want to get as much of this off as you can. So the easiest way is just get underneath it with your knife, which this is where I'm gonna have problems because it's sat out for a while. You're just gonna take that silver skin off. I'm a pull guy, so I like to get that piece up.
You mentioned that it sat out for a while. I have found that if the meat is a little bit colder, it's easier to do this. So
way easier.
Yeah.
So it's actually, I'm sorry, go right ahead.
Yeah, no, like on pork, like a pork tenderloin, if you see the silver skin on a pork tenderloin, it's the same kind of thing where it's just
if you pop it in the freezer for about 20 minutes, it's actually perfect. It actually comes out really nice. The only thing you have to remember though is let it sit out at room temperature for a little while to get back tempered. Because either that, or you're going to have problems with the center of it not.
Oh, and the outside will be cooked in the center still.
Yep. So.
Rah.
I'm sorry, I keep looking at you. I should be looking at the camera, right?
The camera is getting right close in on that beautiful meat, so.
So all you're doing is basically just getting rid of all of this. Now, when you touch the fat, this is something that I was trained, is that if you touch it and you can actually feel it starting to melt to your finger, you don't really have to take that piece off. It's the harder cartilage pieces that are not going to melt away as you cook them. They're not going to render down. So if you touch something and it starts to melt away, kind of like that one, you could leave that on there if you want to. We try to trim off as much as we can, just so we can keep it for rendering.
Ah, I see.
So this piece, I go down along this and take that piece out.
The knife that you're using right now?
Scimitar.
Scimitar.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of curve to it. Unfortunately, I did not sharpen this one before I left, so it's a little on the dull side. Usually my knives are pretty sharp. So the cool thing here is now that you've done that, if you grab yourself a towel, you can start to pull this up, and you can ride the silver skin all the way to the other end.
The little nicks. I was remembering, I took a duck butchering class years ago with Ben Hunter, and the thing that you learn, or that he taught us at after hours at Madison Sourdough, is like you're using your hands as much as you're using the knife.
Yeah.
It's like nick, like little tiny, because ducks have a lot of fat because they float,
That plus you're also being a little bit more detailed.
Yes.
And if you're making little swings, you're not going to be taking a meat. You're going to just be getting that fat, and that's all you want. So this right now that's being left behind is that stuff that I told you that it'll melt away.
It'll melt away.
So if I don't get it all, it's not a huge...
Well, and fat is flavor.
Yes. Especially with beef.
Heck yeah, it is. Someone was asking in the editorial meeting today, because there's a reporter who's going to be working on a story about carp, like catching carp that are invasive. And I was like, are they catching them to eat them? And they were like, well, we don't know yet. We're not sure. Are they eating the carp? And they were like looking up recipes for carp. And then people started looking up recipes for crane, which is another conversation. Like bacon wrapped crane. And I was like, okay. But the carp, they're like, oh yeah, come up with a great recipe for carp. And I was like, I mean, the secret is always just...
It's catfish.
Fat and salt.
It's just catfish.
And acid. I mean, fat and salt and acid.
Yeah.
And not eating crane.
Yeah. And Lauren says, I'm not eating cranes.
I don't think I could do that either. I've ate some crazy things in my life, but I don't think I could do cranes. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ribeye of the sky, you guys. The ribeye of the sky.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. No, Catherine's really gonna kick us out. Oh boy.
So yeah. So that is actually pretty decent.
Oh.
For what you're doing at home.
So okay, this is like 2 to 3 pounds. How many pounds would you say that this was?
This one's probably this is probably about a 3-pounder, 2-pounder.
And you just took off
a lot.
a lot.
I would say close to a pound.
Yeah. Right?
So these average about 4 to 5 pounds.
Sure.
So I probably took a good pound off.
Okay.
That's the other reason why I say render this, get your money back. You know,
Oh,
you want the money. So this will actually produce. So we only do these on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and we do 5, 10, 15, 20 of these.
Yeah.
And we will get probably 4 pounds of pure tallow,
Wow,
liquid gold
okay.
out of it, which, actually we're starting to sell it. We've got people asking for it, so we're actually
Yes, I
selling
can see
it.
that.
So,
I can
yeah.
totally see that.
So, but yeah, the best thing to do is if you get anything that you truly have to trim, is actually look at it and see if you can render it down and actually reserve what you're using. Because this will actually, like bacon grease, I save my bacon grease. Whenever I make bacon at home, I got a ball jar. In the ball jar it goes, and I use it as much as I can instead of using oils and things like that. Sorry. And it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
If you could save this and you can use this will last for 6 months in a freezer. So if you render it down, put it in something, put it in your freezer, let it get solid, and then seal it up, you can have it for 6 months.
What would I have to pay per pound for that?
$8 from us. $8 from us, and you'll get a solid
pound
pound.
is the question.
Yeah, you get a solid pound. So, and you can buy it in half pound. You don't have to buy a full pound. So, but that should last you for quite a while, unless you find ways to use it, and I will love you for it.
And when you're talking about rendering, and maybe this is a question that has come through, I'm not sure, but like, talking about rendering, are you talking about like cutting it up into smaller pieces and putting it in a pot and putting it on low heat and like letting it become?
If you do it on the stove, I strongly suggest to do exactly what you just said, and then add a little bit of water to it.
Sure.
Because if not, then you're going to start to cook and burn on the bottom of the pan.
Right.
So you want a little bit of water in there, and that will evaporate off eventually. And you don't want to do it on high heat. You want to do it on about a low medium heat for the sheer fact the longer it takes, the more you're going to get out of it.
Sure.
So because it's like anything else, any other fat, it shrivels up, and it's just it just isn't going to render. We actually pop it in hotel pans, and we'll put it in the oven at 200 degrees for 14 hours and just let it melt away. So
I'm probably not going to do 14-hour cooks at home.
Yeah.
But on the stovetop, like smaller pieces, a little bit of water, like
correct.
Maybe lid on there.
Yeah, I would do a lid. So.
Okay.
So that is the end of it. On the recipe that you have gotten, you can season this any old way you want to. I make my own steak seasoning, so it's salt, pepper, garlic, onion, a little bit of cayenne pepper. We just kind of sprinkle this on, get it thorough, flip it over, do the other side.
Oh, it's pretty big crystal salt.
Yep. because this is going to sit for at least 12 hours in the fridge for us. You can let this sit. I strongly suggest you season and salt any beef at least 2 hours before you're going to use it. Let that salt actually do its job. And then the one that you guys don't have, but we sell it because we make it, is our dirt rub. It's a 15 ingredient seasoning that Andrew actually created.
Nice.
I, in my entire career of barbecuing, have never seen anything like it, for the sheer fact we put this on everything that we do almost, and the flavor transfer is not what you expect. And what I mean by that is I can give you chicken, pork, and beef, set them all three in front of you, and they will not taste the same.
Wow.
It only pulls out what it needs, and the rest of it fades away. So I get a lot of people who are like, this is the same. I'm like, yeah, it's the same seasoning. And they're like, how? I'm like, I don't know. It's magic.
This reminds me of everything bagel seasoning in the best
pretty
way.
much.
Like,
That's
doesn't it?
pretty
Like,
much
it's like
what it
everything
is.
bagel.
I don't know if you've asked the salt question, but someone on the chat has asked the salt question.
In the way of what type of salt am I using?
That's a great question. I love that question.
So we were using a large flake. And to be honest with you, on a lot of things that we've been smoking, we were trying to prevent putting a lot of salt on things. But the barbecue world was like, there's no flavor, blah, blah, blah. So we started salt and peppering all of our briskets and stuff. So with that being said, we went to the smaller crystal kosher. For the simple fact that it melts away a lot faster.
Which is the Morton's, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It melts away a lot faster.
Diamond crystal's bigger.
You get a lot more penetration with it as it because we do a dry brine. We let it sit overnight.
Yeah. I do that on my turkey too for Thanksgiving. A dry brine.
So, but yeah, so we transitioned to that, and it works a lot better. The only thing I like the flake for is the bite. You know, if you're chewing something, I've got the finishing salt at home. I like the bite and the melt away of the salt. So. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we just let them sit and rest. You can let this sit out for about 20 or 30 minutes as is, and it will do its job. I personally would wrap it, put it in the fridge, let it sit in the fridge overnight, and do it the next day. And then pull it out, let it sit for about 30 or 40 minutes before you put it on the grill or do it on the stove, whichever
when you say
way you decide.
wrap it and put it in the fridge, like is this something where I can like pop it into a 9x13 and aluminum foil or whatever?
Yep.
Or does it need to be tight? Okay.
Nope, does not have to be tight at all.
Okay, cool.
In fact, it's not, I wouldn't do that for the sheer fact, a lot of people think it's blood that's in a package that you get. You know, you'll get something you'll get a steak and you're like, there's all this blood. It's not, it's moisture that the steak's actually releasing.
Oh, okay.
So it's a lot of water and a lot of things like that. So if you were to wrap this, the next day you would probably open it and there would probably be a lot of that moisture in there.
Out,
so you're going to have, on the bottom end of this, you're going to have what I call syrup, because it's everything that's melted together, plus there's this, now you have this like 1/4 inch marinated sliver across the bottom of it that's gonna actually get a little hard.
Okay.
Because of everything that's been, all that moisture that's been sitting there.
Got it, okay.
So yeah, that's it. And then the magic of, I forgot to put it in the oven.
Okay.
You said we'd forget something.
Yeah.
Hey Lauren,
Do what?
what's this set at, 320?
It runs a bit hot.
So 350?
Yeah.
Is there a timer on this bad boy?
What do you need, honey?
I need like 10 minutes.
I got you. Oh man.
I just need it to get hot.
Thanks, Vanna.
So we smoked these this morning. We smoke them again to about 125, and then we pull them and we chill them, which is between a rare to mid-rare. We go straight to the fridge, so we're trying to stop the cook process. You can pull them at 125, let them rest. I strongly suggest letting any meat rest. And at 125, by the time you're actually going to touch it, 15 minutes later, it should be about a mid-rare. If you're like most people, pull it about 130, let it rest, you'll be about a medium. At least that's what I have found from quite a few people. So.
One of the things I really liked in the recipe is that you gave 3 different options for how to cook this, right?
Yep.
You could grill it, you could smoke it, and you can roast it in the oven. So
Correct.
Do you want to talk about those different methods and like the pros and cons of them? I'm probably going to go either grill or oven. I don't have a smoker. Grill in the summertime, oven in the not summertime.
I would strongly suggest do this on flame.
Okay.
I would do
Even
it over
charcoal?
a grill. Yeah, you can do it over charcoal.
I have a charcoal grill.
I'll tell you an interesting story.
Yeah.
I bought a gas grill once. My daughter was little. She was in a high chair. I wheeled her over to the patio door. I went out. I started the grill. I turned around. There was a flame shooting out of the hose. We had hardwood floors. I took her high chair and I threw her across the room and I threw the grill over the deck and I looked at my wife and I go, never again.
That's it. How old is that kiddo now?
She's a sophomore at University of Minnesota.
Oh my gosh.
So that was a few years ago. But yeah. This is made to do over open fire.
Okay.
So this
That's
is
perfect
definitely
for
a
right
cut.
now, you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, if you do fire pit, I would grab some hardwood and go grab yourself one of those
That's
tripod
fun.
grills and throw that baby over the top of it. It's delicious.
We were just camping this past week and we had gorgeous weather, except I forgot all of my seasonings, so everything tasted like Lowry's.
It's not always a bad thing.
No, it wasn't bad, actually. It turned out okay. Lowry's is good on most things,
Yeah,
like potatoes, grilled vegetables. Gosh, we put Lowry's on. And like by the third day, my husband was like, I know that you forgot the seasonings. You can stop beating yourself up about it. It's okay. Well, Lowry's is fine.
So this is done. I will set this aside somewhere. Where do you want me to put it? Lauren, where would you like me to put this?
Oh, don't give it to
Oh,
Lauren.
I'm sorry. Where would you like me to put it? I can put it right in there. Okay.
Okay.
I will need another cutting board though.
Right
Oh,
under you.
right underneath me.
Yep.
There we go. You don't have them color coded. Yeah, you do. There we go. Sorry.
Why would you color code
Professor
your
and
cutting
I.
boards? What's the...
Red for meat, green for veg.
Really?
Yes. Blue for fish.
Who knew? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Wow. What's yellow for?
Oh boy. Dairy? Dairy?
Yeah, who knows? Yes, yellow is for cheese. It's a cheese cutting board.
Actually, I think that's it. I think it is.
All right.
I just know red, green, and blue.
So you brought us some other things too here. What else did you bring? Oh,
Well, I didn't do any side items.
Oh, okay.
Which I thought about it after I sent you the recipes. Like, I didn't need side items.
yeah. What would you serve
But
with this?
my staff, so cornbread. I believe cornbread is a vessel. It is
Okay.
not the focus. I feel a lot of restaurants, not only here but everywhere, it's more of the focus. It's sweet. It's got corn kernels in it. It's soft.
I do like corn.
Ours is not. Ours is crumbly. It actually is very dry. It is a vessel for our honey butter that we make 50-50. So this is 50% honey, 50% butter. So this has some great flavor to it.
That's so much
if you ever
honey.
come to our restaurant and you get our cornbread, I'm going to tell you the same thing that I just told you day in and day out.
Oh yeah.
But we listen to our customer, and we now do what I call quick skillet bread. And what I mean by that, we are a small operation. Our kitchen, honestly, is about as big as that,
Okay.
our actual kitchen. So we don't have a whole lot of space to do things. I don't have the opportunity of doing cast iron for a lot of things, and skillet bread is a cast iron bread. You do bacon grease or something
Sure.
in the bottom of it, get it nice and hot, pour your cornbread in, and it makes a nice layer, and you can hold it. Again, it's dry. It's got more of a corn flavor to it. Again, you're adding your marmalade and other things to it. We actually take this, we'll cut it in half, dip it in butter, throw it on the flat top, and we crystallize one side of it. It actually brings the sweetness of the corn out. It actually firms it up so you can actually add the
sounds
honey
amazing.
butter a little bit better. And it answers what the customer's been complaining about, and it doesn't take us away from what we currently do. And that's what we do on a lot of things. We're very unique in the fact that I have a book, Andrew has a notepad. We sit and listen to our customers on everything that they tell us. We write it down, and then we go over notes about every week, every 2 weeks. What did we hear constant on needing to be changed? Can we change it, or is it something that we do? Is it something we did, or is it something we do? Something we did, was it dry? Was it, cornbread? Was our pork dry? Is it something we do? Is it the seasoning we use? I'm not changing that. We have 5 years going with it. It's just not going to happen. The flavor of our cornbread. We've been asked by multiple people for our cornbread at events because they love the flavor of our cornbread. So that will never change. I can change it to make the skillet bread to take care of the problem that people were talking about. So we are an evolving menu as well. We change it on a constant. We're getting ready to change it again in October.
Nice.
The only thing that stays solid is our true barbecue. So again, we do tri-tip Wednesday, Thursday, brisket Friday, Saturday. We do beef ribs on Thursday. And then Tuesday is our taco night.
Nice.
We start that on October 1st.
Okay.
Taco night is, we don't, brisket. Sorry, I'll talk fast. So Friday's brisket, we cook on Thursday. We get them off the smoker, we wrap them, we hold them overnight. The next day we serve them all day Friday. What we don't sell out of Friday, we do not serve on Saturday. On Friday, I'm making brisket for Saturday. So those briskets we'll pull off, we'll chill them, get them nice and cold. And then on Tuesday, we take all of our stuff that we didn't sell out of and we make tacos.
Nice, that's
and we
beautiful.
just do tacos with them. So that way we
Sounds
had an
great.
avenue to do that. In all honesty, there's not a lot of times we have brisket left over. So we will actually create a third taco if we don't have that taco, or beef or pork or chicken. We've done a jambalaya taco. We've done tri-tip fajitas. We've done all different kinds of things on Tuesday nights.
What should we make sure to get before the menu changes in October?
Anything, because we're just adding.
Okay.
We're just adding things
You're adding some stuff
in
on.
October.
Okay.
So nothing's going away. We've got upside down pies now. Upside down frozen pie.
Fun.
So
okay.
yeah, we've got a root beer float pie, a key lime pie, and a banana cream pie. And they're frozen individuals. You can get 1 to 2 people, and they're a cream pie, and they're frozen. So you order them and literally sit them on the table, and within minutes they're starting to get soft, and they're delicious. I just made them. I just made them the other day.
Nice.
They're super good. I've had more than I should. So yeah, I believe I got 2 minutes left there.
2 minutes left.
Where
okay.
are we at?
I don't know. We've got the chimichurri made.
Poultry.
That's yellow.
Oh.
Good call.
There's a yellow cutting board, and we now
I
know
get my
what's-
thighs done.
Yeah, nice. Okay. So when this comes out,
Yes.
like what you've basically done. So tell us the status of those. Like those are ones that you've smoked.
Those were smoked for 2
Okay.
hours, seasoned and smoked for 2 hours. We were about
Seasoned,
250
pulled,
degrees.
Smoked.
Yep.
Okay.
So trimmed yesterday, seasoned yesterday, held overnight.
Okay.
This morning, 5 o'clock this morning, out on the smoker they went.
Oof.
Yeah. Actually, about 7:30 they got pulled off. It was a little humid today, so they had to go a little longer. So pulled them off about 7:30, and they went straight into the chiller.
And when you're pulling them off, you're looking for a temperature?
Yeah, 125. I'm a touch feel guy when it comes to meat.
That's why I asked.
So usually that's 125 is when the tri-tip will actually get firm.
Okay.
Before it gets loose again. So you'll actually can pick it up, and if it's staying its form, it's pretty well timed to take it off, because then it's at a resting time where everything will start to relax, because it's starting to basically hold all of its juices in.
Okay.
So.
Nice. And so for roasting or for grilling, we're going to do the same thing up to the smoking point.
Correct.
Okay. Awesome.
But when you take it off the grill or you take it out of the oven, let it rest for 15 minutes just to let everything relax. When this comes out, I'll let it relax for a little bit, but I won't need to relax very long. I've never done it this way,
Okay.
so I'm just letting you all know that in advance.
There's a first time for everything. We love it.
It's done.
Yeah, okay. So
got flavor.
when it's smoked,
Yes.
at that point, is it, you could just eat it?
You could. We do. As we're trimming it, it's basically our snack time.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, to be honest with you, they do come in different sizes, so some of them will definitely go above temp. We do, all of our stuff is live fire again, so we're at Mother Nature's mercy, and she's thrown every curveball at us this year. We are currently on straight draw smokers. Our last 2 units were reverse flow, so Firebox hits a plate. Plate is a combi, basically, and the heat from the plate actually does convection cook inside the smoker, and then the smoke actually rolls and comes back through the cabinet and actually will roll through the cabinet and out the little stack, so it's not a direct draw. The one thing to understand with that is you will get more of a smoke flavor from that style because of the fact that it's not a straight through, it's actually holding inside. The other one is you get a little bit more of a creosote in it because of the plate, because you cannot clean the plate underneath all that well.
Okay.
So you'll get a little bit more of a creosote, a little bit more of a darker color on your meats and things like that. Our 2 new units we had made down in Poteet, Texas, they're 1,000-gallon LP tanks converted into smokers, and we have 250-gallon tanks that are our fireboxes into those smokers. We are in control from the start to the finish of that entire thing. We have found on hot, dry days, I don't have to add much fuel. It's fantastic. Today, with the rain that we got, I don't know if you guys got rain, we got rain out there. My temps dropped by 30 degrees. I had to go out there and throw more logs on. I had to make wind breaks and the whole works because we had wind blowing. The first week we were on them, we were at negative 30 degrees. I had to learn how to take a Texas smoker and make it work Wisconsin.
Oh my gosh.
And that was building 2 fires in the firebox. So it was, yeah, it was interesting.
Goodness. All right.
So
What kind of wood do you use?
oak. I use white and red both. We use a blend. White for the heat and the long burn, and red for the flavor. We use oak for 1 for that. 2, there's a lot of it. 3, for us, if you like smoke, it's strong enough that you should be able to taste it and be happy with it. If you don't like smoke, it's gentle enough that you're not going to be offended by it, and you'll actually your palate will be able to take it. I had a woman come in the other day. She goes, "What can I get from you that's not smoked?" And I go, "May I ask why?" "I don't like smoked food." And I said, "Okay, I'm going to give you a slice of my brisket." "I don't like smoke." "Ma'am, I'm going to give you a piece of my brisket, and you let me know what you think." And I went and cut her off a slice, and she looked at me and she goes, "Oh, I'll take a pound of that." And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "It's just there. It's just subtle." And that's why we use oak. And I think some people that come in, I think they expect that hickory from us, because a lot of people use hickory in the air, or they use a blend and they always put hickory in it. And hickory, I love hickory, but it can be too powerful for a lot of people. And I'd rather have somebody tell me that it's not strong enough than have somebody go, "This is really strong." Because if they go to somebody and go, "This is really strong," I'm going to lose that person. But if they go to somebody and go, "You know what, it was gentle," and I'll most likely get somebody from that. So
For sure.
Someone wants to know if you ever offer barbecue skirt steak.
skirt steak we have not done. Mental note. We do tacos.
We're putting requests, and I go lamb.
Lamb.
You never see it up here.
So our name is Primal Q. So the idea behind Primal is that we were going to start doing one wild game from Wisconsin, and then the other one was to start doing some off things. Lamb has been brought to us a couple of times. To be honest with you, I want we need a year on our smokers to understand them 100% before I really start going off the charts on different things. We started them in March. With the way weather's been, I would say by March or June of next year, we're probably going to start playing in that realm. We do turkey dinners for Thanksgiving. It's where I started. When I was 7 years old, my dad took me off the couch and said, "It's time to learn." And we smoke turkey for Thanksgiving. That's the only way we have turkey. If we don't smoke it, we don't have it. So unfortunately, I lost him 21 years ago. But you will find me in front of a smoker with 1 can of beer at 6 in the morning, either at my house or at work. We did turkey dinners last year. I think we had 16 orders last year. We do whole birds and we do side items. You can either get the whole bird or you can get the full meal. We did it 3 years ago and was very successful. 2 years ago was the first time I could take my mom back home to see my sister since pandemic. So we took that year off for her to see my sisters. But I wanted to be next to a smoker. It hurt, actually. But so this year we'll offer it again. That one we'll definitely have every year from here on out. But the lamb, thank you. You're probably 12 or 13 in line for that one. So that and Texas Twinkies.
All right.
Or not, yeah, Texas Twinkies, the wrapped jalapenos. There's too much labor.
Oh my gosh.
Too much labor.
Well, how do we finish this up?
So you got plates, right?
They're ready to the right.
Are they? Hey, there we go. So this will be pretty easy.
Are there different grades of tri-tip, like choice?
There are. I mean, it's like any other
Grades
beef.
of tri-tip is the question.
I mean, you're definitely. I mean, you can go pay for a Wagyu if you want to, but I strongly suggest this is choice. I've never gone anything greater than a choice. I do for steak. Our briskets we used to do prime, and then I got a case of choice in, and it turned out just as good as the prime. So I was like, why get prime?
Nice. All right.
Plus prime, if you Costco's a great one. We used to get when we first started out. That's where we got a lot of our brisket because of their price. But if you look at what they do, this is going to be rare, but this is really good. I might need a skillet. This might be a little rare.
Oh,
Cast iron?
How many people like mid-rare?
love.
And you want a little bit more? Yeah, either one.
iron?
Cast iron, or you got a non-stick. Non-stick will work too.
Please.
We cook to order here at Cooking with the Camp Time. I mean, that was beautiful to me.
Yeah, that is.
That was gorgeous.
Could be a little bit more.
My husband
But-
probably would go a tick more as well.
My wife would want this dead.
God. It's funny. A friend of mine who now lives in Atlanta started ordering his steaks medium rare plus, which is apparently it works and it gets you somewhere between like medium rare and medium that he felt more. Or was it medium plus? Medium plus? Anyway, he would add like a little plus. And apparently this worked. Like to get him the steak exactly the way. It's sort of like when I was working as a barista and people would give me a temperature that they wanted their latte at. They were like, I would like a 150, 160 degree latte. And I can do that.
No comment.
No, like I know how to do that. Like it's not that difficult, but it's just an interesting like, how did you figure out that's what you wanted, you know?
So my wife used to manage at Outback Steakhouse
Oh yeah, okay.
way back when,
Bloomin'.
and I used to order my steak by who was behind the grill.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I found out what they did, I was like, who's on the grill? Jose's on the grill. I want medium rare. Who's on the grill? Mike, I want it medium. Why? Because his mid-rare and his medium are the same.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So if you don't know anything about tri-tip, again, two muscles come together here. So this way, everything was going this way. Now, everything is now going this way.
And you want to cut against the grain.
You want to cut against the grain. So there'll be one little spot. You can do this one of two ways. You can go with it. So like that one right there, you can actually see it starting to. So you can go at an angle, make a few thicker pieces if you want to. And now you can see the grain
Yeah.
starting to change.
And that just means that it won't eat as tough as if you cut with the grain, right? Yeah.
Correct. You'll get that stringy. It won't pull apart in your mouth very easily.
You're cutting fairly thin pieces.
Yep.
Does that make a difference?
In tri-tip for me, when I go to cook it, yes, because I don't want to overcook it. I just want to sweat it out a little bit. So for the sheer fact that they want it a little bit more done, I can do it in a quick fashion. And this is actually about how thin we cook it, or that we cut it. Because the other one's speed. We can actually serve. The longest thing in our kitchen is our hamburgers. And they take about 8 to 9 minutes. Everything else you can have within minutes.
Wow.
So
Because it's already smoked.
it's already smoked. It's already done. And yes, we make everything from scratch.
Nice.
So our side items and everything are from scratch. I'm not against bringing something in that's already made and making it our own. With time and the way things are right now, and labor and staffing and everything else. But the majority of everything we do is 100% us. There you go.
Yay! You knew I wanted that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so good.
So the plan here is, how much time do we have?
6 minutes.
Really? So the plan here is I'm actually just going to make a mess here, is cook some of this off for you, and then when we're all done and that thing's off, I will do another one so we all can actually eat.
Amazing. That's perfect. Yeah.
So
we just need one plate.
One plate? There we go.
Yeah.
So we got this on. How do you know a true cook at home?
I don't know. How do you?
They set off the fire alarm.
I got to cook over fire while I was camping, and it's
That's fun.
so nice to cook over, just even like on the propane stove, just cooking over like a live, like flame.
Coffee
Was so nice.
I'm not a coffee drinker, but
Yeah.
I will drink coffee off of a campfire anytime.
Camp coffee is the best coffee in the world. It tastes better. I mean, it's context. It's surely context, right? It's like, because it's cool and you were sleeping on the ground and.
It's the original Max. It's the original Maxwell House commercial.
Oh, is it really? I should know that.
So if you're doing this at home, nonstick works just fine. Don't use metal and nonstick, but no offense. But it's just a flash. Put it on. If it's a little bit more, if you do it the cold style like we do, we put it in just until it starts to sweat. So you'll actually see the puddle start, and as soon as you see the puddle, just flip it over and you're done. So, but this one's already cooked, so it won't take much. And what's funny is you're going to see this wonderful little thing that everybody calls a smoke ring. I laugh at smoke rings.
What is a smoke ring?
It's a cooking process. It's just the blood and everything cooking properly. I can get a smoke ring putting salt on meat and throwing it in the oven. It's a myth.
It's a myth. It's a myth like, what do they say?
I shouldn't say it's a myth, but it's not what people think it is, to me anyway. And my dad taught me never to gauge what you do off of a smoke ring.
No.
I did not. That's what I need right there. And this will work. So basically it's just that with a little bit of love.
Beautiful. I want to do like boiled potatoes with that. That's really yummy.
There we go.
Yay! Thank you.
Beautiful.
Oh my God, it's
So-
gorgeous. Oh, thank you so much. That's
You're
absolutely
welcome.
beautiful.
No problem.
People want to find you in Sun Prairie. Do you want to give the address?
836 Grove Street. We are connected to the front half of the ice arena. And if the parking lot is full, it's because we have a hockey game. The restaurant's not busy. There is extra parking in the high school parking lot, and there is a staircase coming up from that high school parking lot. So we're open, currently we are open Wednesday through Saturday. We're open for dinner on Wednesdays. We're 11 to 9 Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Nice.
October 1st, we'll start taco night again. So we'll be open 4 to 9 on taco night. And then third weekend of October is our first hockey tournament. We open for breakfast on Sundays. And it is it's a walk-up a la carte breakfast. So it's literally French toast, pancakes, scrambled eggs, hash browns.
Oh my gosh, so fun.
Sausage, good old-fashioned southern biscuits and gravy. And everything's a la carte, so you can get one slice of this and one slice of that. You can best compliment I got was from a mom last year. I walked out full for less than $10.
Ah, beautiful.
And I went, sweet, and you did it in less than 20 minutes.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, Beth, you want to take us out?
Yes, thank you so much, Chef, for making this wonderful dish that
No
we're
problem.
all
Thank you.
about to enjoy. Thank you once again to Kesnick's for hosting us tonight, and for years. We so appreciate you.
Yay, Kesnick's.
Thanks to Leopold's Books Bar Cafe for providing the wine that we'll be pairing with this dish. Again, if you want to come to a future event, try the wine, try the dish, enjoy the whole experience firsthand, you can do that by becoming a Cap Times member at membership.captimes.com. We'd love to see you here. And thank you to Hinkley, our video partner, for making this possible, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Oh, one more thing. Robert, you won our bottle of wine.
Yay!
Okay, that's it.
Thank